Would you like to get started? If everyone would take their seats, we can get started. Thank you. All right, great. Very captive audience. Best audience I've ever had. I hope you all enjoyed your meal. How about a nice round of applause for the staff here at the Havisham? They've been great to us. We've been here, I don't know, the past 10, 12 years, and without their help, without their support, without everything that they give us, this banquet would not be possible. Each of tonight's inductees will be introduced by a member of the Hall of Fame committee. Let me take a minute to introduce you to the Hall of Fame committee at this time. We have three people that voted for this class that are not here this evening, so I'll introduce them first. The former principal at Wesley High School, Mike Hoban, who is no longer the principal, but was very active in the selection of tonight's inductees and served on the committee during his tenure as principal at Westerly. He was a member of the committee. Also, two Hall of Famers from previous classes who are now on the committee selected tonight's inductees. One of them, Wendy Carr. Wendy was unable to make it this evening because it's Cinco de Mayo, and she happens to own Amigos. So when I told her the banquet was tonight, she said, "Are you kidding?" So we know where Wendy is, but she sends her best, and she said that she is so sorry she can't be here because she really enjoys the banquet and having an opportunity to introduce at least one, if not two, of the members of the class. The third member was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. Her name is Darlene Cretion. She was an outstanding female athlete at Wesley High School. Darlene's daughter is competing in an event, an athletic event this weekend, and her son is graduating from college. So we gave them a hall pass. They have an excuse. If they're not here next year, we're going to bounce them off the committee. But no, they're excellent, and we're so happy that and appreciative of their efforts, and thank them for all the work they did in establishing this evening's class. The other members of the Hall of Fame are here this evening. They'll be introduced by me a little later on when we do the introductions, but I'll point them out to you at this time. First member is Hall of Famer Jamie Vetolino, Athletic Director at Wesley High School. Another Hall of Famer sitting right here in front of me, Bob Caradillo, who's been a member of the Hall of Fame for many years. Newest member of the Hall of Fame, who gave the blessing this evening. We're so appreciative of his efforts, Father Mike Nager. And I also obviously serve on the Hall of Fame committee. So one of us will, thank you. One of us will be introducing the inductee this evening. The committee carefully reviewed all the candidates who were nominated because we would get more than 8 people that we would vote on, and this year we had quite a few that we had to consider, and we had very good meetings, very good discussions, and we felt at the end of the day that we selected the best 8 that we had in front of us. And we based it on their accomplishments and their credentials. They will join a very select group of people who have already been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Some of the people that have already been inducted are here this evening. I would ask them to stand at this time so I could introduce those Hall of Famers that are in the audience to you. So if you're a member of the Hall of Fame, could you please stand at this time? I've already introduced Jamie, and I introduced Bob. I guess we have 2 others. We have former athletic director, again, someone who needs no introduction, who's coached many, many teams at Wesley High School, was a phenomenal athlete himself, Coach Tom Turner. And one of the most outstanding coaches in the state of Rhode Island. If you don't believe me, get me corrected. And fortunately for us, he's still coaching track, both boys and girls at Wesley High School. Does just a phenomenal job. It's in his genes, so he's got to give a little bit of acknowledgement to his grandfather. But of course, very, very successful, both as an athlete and now tremendous success as a coach, Dave Federico. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that seated at the table right here, dad of one of tonight's inductees. He's not a member of the Wesley High School Hall of Fame because he didn't go to Wesley High School, but he went to Woonsocket and was inducted into the Woonsocket High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Another great athlete in his time, Don Harrington. And later on, you'll hear that Charlie Holdridge is the only person that's ever been inducted in both the Westerly and the Stonington Athletic Hall of Fame. That's quite an honor. Tonight's inductees will receive citations from Wesley High School, the town of Westerly, the Rhode Island Senate, and the Rhode Island House of Representatives. One of the people responsible for the citations that we get every year from the House of Representatives is in the audience this evening. He's the uncle of one of our inductees, and I just want him to stand up and take a bow because he's been so helpful to us throughout the years. Representative Sam Azanaro. Big thank you to Denise Boulay from Wesley High School, Wesley Town Clerk Mary LeBlanc, the Wesley Town Council, State Senator Victoria Gu, and all the other people that contributed to the making of these citations that we will be giving to the inductees this evening. Each inductee will also receive a desktop award and a photo of tonight's Hall of Fame class, which we have here with us, so you'll receive that this evening. That was provided by Steve Sosasimo from Granite Photo. Also, their names will be engraved on the Hall of Fame plaque that hangs in the lobby outside of the entrance to Federico Gymnasium at the high school. A picture of the class of 2024 will also be on display near the entrance to the gym. So you'll have a permanent reminder. Take your family, friends, children, grandchildren up there so that they can see that you were inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's quite an honor, and it'll always be on display at the high school. So that's kind of a nice touch as well. Filming tonight's banquet, we have Shane Belanger from Westerly Live. We are streaming live at this very moment, correct, Shane? And also, we will all be able to read about tonight's banquet in Westerly News. Do I have that correct? 2 for 2. But thank you for doing that. We appreciate you being here. Special thanks go out to those people listed in your program who've made a significant financial contribution to the Hall of Fame, and especially the Wesley Community Credit Union for their continued support and sponsorship of this event and to the Hall of Fame. They've sponsored us throughout the years. Please join me in a round of applause for all these people. And finally, a big shout out to, currently is my secretary again, because I'm back in my old job for a little while as principal of Wesley High School, and even if I wasn't there, she's always been my right-hand person, and that's Deanna Fallon. Deanna was the one you probably spoke to if you needed tickets. She helps coordinate this event. She sends out correspondence. She handles ticket sales and seating arrangements, as well as managing all the final details. This year, she deserves even more credit because she did this under a great deal of stress. Tomorrow, her daughter is getting married. And she juggled her daughter's wedding and what she had to do to pull off this event for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I cannot thank her enough, and I just watched her some days go from talking to her daughter to talking to me. Well, really, she was being nice to her daughter. She was screaming at me. But anyways, she handled both things, and she did it both beautifully. And I know tomorrow will be just a wonderful day for her, her family, her daughter. They're going to have great weather. So how about a nice round of applause for Deanna Fallon? In order to be considered for the Hall of Fame, a candidate must have been out of high school for at least 10 years. The candidate must be a Wesley High School graduate unless they are being inducted as a coach or a contributor. Athletic awards and achievements during high school and college are considered for selection, as well as any personal and professional accomplishments. The members of this year's class have certainly met these criteria. The class of 2024 is made up of record holders, MVPs, all-staters, all-division selections, college athletes, and award winners. Respected professionals and people who have contributed greatly to their community. You certainly will be impressed with each and every one of them as they are introduced and their citations are read. At this time, we will begin our induction ceremony, and I'd like to call on our athletic director, Jamie Vetolino, for our first two inductions and introductions of the class of 2024. Jamie?
Thank you, Mr. Morano. So first, I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming here tonight. Congratulations to all 8 inductees. You guys have all earned, and ladies have earned your place here through hard work and commitment. And I want to thank all of the family members and friends who are here tonight as well, because as we all know, as a student athlete goes through their middle school, high school, and post-high school career, they put in a tremendous amount of work and effort, but it takes those in their family and their extended family to make sure that they get as far as they can go. So thank you, family members, friends who supported your student athletes while they were at Wesley High School and now beyond Wesley High School, and coming here to showcase them again for one more night. So thank you. I have the pleasure of introducing 2 athletes tonight. The first will be Austin Silly. I'm proud to be able to introduce him because he gives hope to anyone who is below the height of 5'7" and wants to play basketball. What he accomplished on the basketball court was just outright amazing, and it changed the way I feel we play basketball at Wesley based on what he was able to accomplish on the court. I'm very proud to have been able to be the athletic director and see him develop from middle school all the way through his high school career. So Austin, congratulations, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of your maturity. You, Austin Silly, an outstanding Wesley High School athlete, have brought pride and distinction to yourself, Wesley High School, and the community. Your accomplishments on the basketball court are well documented and cemented into Wesley High School basketball lore. You completed your career with 1,523 points. At the time, it was the all-time male record. You connected on 97 three-point shots in your junior year, still a school record. You hit 9 three-pointers in a game in a 40-point performance against Pilgrim, still a school record, in threes in a game. Your prowess to score is virtually unmatched. You captained the team for 2 years, became second-team All-State for 2 straight years, and you were 3-time first-team All-Division. Your career checks all the boxes of greatness. Additionally, you were Wesley Community Credit Union Tournament MVP, led the state in scoring your senior year at 24.5 points per game, and you hit multiple game winners for us. Your production was incredible. That is only part of what makes you part of the Wesley High School basketball history. Your work ethic was unmatched. Nobody has done more workouts with a single navy blue chair in Federico Gymnasium than you have. Often crafting your own workouts and spending hours on perfecting your shot and working on ways to create shots. Austin changed the way we play basketball in Westerly. You regularly scored from 25 to 30 feet out. You then followed that with floaters in the lane, mid-range bank shots, and almost never missed a free throw. You were a player advancing the game, and did so with no fear of competition, outside influence, or failure, or potential failure. You willed yourself and teammates to success, and when you played with Austin, there was no other option. Once you entered Rhode Island College, it seemed nothing had changed. You dominated right away. You were an immediate starter on the Little East Conference Tournament Championship team and went on to the NC2A Division III tournament. You led your team in scoring as a freshman at 12.5 points per game and dropped 19 at the dunk against Providence College. Unfortunately, a back injury prevented you from continuing down your basketball path, so you refocused on golf. In high school, you were a two-time All-Division golfer, and for the Bulldogs, you finished top 20 in the state at the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Championships. So, of course, you seamlessly moved from RIC basketball to golf. You became the team MVP twice, won 3 tournaments, and earned the John C. Heatherman Award at Rhode Island College, given to an athlete who has overcome adversity. You continue to be an example to Westerly student athletes as a basketball coach at Westerly Middle School and golf coach for the Westerly High School team. For the positive influence that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments for which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Austin Silly, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Turn on is right there.
Oh boy, can I set this up? All right. How's everyone doing tonight? All right, yeah. Well, that made my dad cry, so that's a tall feat for sure. The glare isn't too bad on my head. No, it's all right. Okay. One sec. Let me get this situated here. I just want to say congratulations to the other recipients tonight. It's an honor to be a part of the 2023 Westerly High School Hall of Fame class. First and foremost, I want to thank my parents. You instilled in me to always be a leader, never a follower. Work hard. If you start something, finish it. And that golden rule, always treat people the way you would like to be treated. You never forced me to do anything, never lived through me vicariously, and always allowed me to make my own way and create my own path while still providing the support and resources I needed in order to excel at anything I put my mind to. You are the reason why I'm standing here today. You built the foundation, and you are the real recipients of this prestigious award. I want to thank the rest of my family. It meant the world to me, not only seeing my parents in the stands, but also my grandparents, my aunts and uncles, my cousins, along with all family friends. I would always look forward to your phone calls and texts to keep tabs on the outcome if you couldn't make it. Your support never went unnoticed, still doesn't, and you all were and are an intricate part of everything I do and who I am. I want to thank Mr. John Graham, Sal Morano, Lou Mazzucci, Frank Lefty Aldridge for creating the Silly Corner. I would look forward to beginning every game with a fist pump from the 4 of you, and I greatly appreciate the support you gave me. I want to thank Ed Walsh on the mic as the public address announcer and Bob Marr for being the very best sports reporter. I hope retirement is treating you both well. Bob, if you're listening to this, I would love for a Swiss Kids sequel to be in the works. I want to thank the Dog Pound and everyone else that supported and still do support the Westerly Bulldog program, along with the Bulldog athletics as a whole. You all play a vital role in the success of each and every program and are unmatched in the state as far as fan bases go. I want to thank my coaches, all which are in attendance tonight, so thank you guys. I appreciate it. It meant the world. First, Coach Sama, for being the last 6th grader to receive a congratulatory slip of making the team to leaving you with a 37-point performance at Thompson. You gave me the tools to be a leader on the court and taught me what being a part of a team was all about. You catapulted my career in order to succeed once I got to high school. I am proud to be a product of you and understand what a crucial part you play in the development of generations to come. Coach Murphy, Saturday mornings. Anyone that has ever played for you or coached with you knows what that means. You put the fear of God in me on those Saturday morning practices, but let me tell you, it brought the best out of all of us. The JV team my freshman year was a blast, and 55 Blue was as lethal as a press as I have ever been a part of. I am so fortunate to have been a contributor to your team and thankful you set the tone to what high school basketball and being a Bulldog was all about. Coach O'Malley, I will never forget you pulling me aside in the first week of tryouts and telling me you were going to be hard on me, but to not take it personal because you saw the potential in me and wanted me to succeed. Those words gave me the confidence and created a connection that I was able to take with me from that moment on. Even though the announcements the morning of my record night was a little premature, and you were pretty animated when you saw me walking out of school that day, you were right there at the end of the game to give me a kiss on the forehead and congratulate me, and I thank you for that. Coach Gleason, thank you for believing in me and giving me free range to play my game. I would not be in this position without you putting the utmost trust in me and allowing me to lead by example. The preparation philosophies you taught me made the transition when I got to college seamless. You taught me life lessons that I carry with me to this day, and I am forever grateful to be a part of your tenure as a player and then as a coach with you for a short time. I want to congratulate you on an unbelievable career. The program is in a better place from when you took over, and there are big shoes to fill. Hopefully I'm not asking too much to put in a good word. Coach K, although golf wasn't my primary sport and I would have to leave practice or matches to go to AAU practice, it was some of the most fun moments of my high school career. Not knowing at the time golf would consume my life at some point, the foundation was already set after my injury, all because of you. It's all come full circle now, being able to coach with you and sharing the same passion. I couldn't be more thankful. All of you played such a vital role in my development and inspired me to come back, give back, and start a coaching career of my own. I want to inform everyone here, everyone that will see this, that watched me play, the kids I have coached so far and the kids that I will coach in the future, and anyone that has looked up to me. I have never looked at myself as being the most athletic or most talented, never been the tallest or strongest, but what I have been, however, is the hardest worker I can possibly be. I believe in working for everything and anything you want to achieve in this life because you can be anyone and do anything you put your mind to if you're willing to put in the work. I am up here because I don't look at losses as a negative but as a learning experience to become that much more well-rounded and be able to take an even better step forward than the day before. I am just a product of my past experiences. My darkest times have shaped me because in those dark times I was able to see the glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel and push forward until I broke through. One of my purposes, which becomes more prominent as I get older, is being an inspiration and making a difference. I want to mentor through my own experiences for future generations in order to help them stand up here one day and give a speech of their own. I want to show them how networking has allowed me to cross paths with all walks of life, including Hall of Fame NBA players, MLB players, and even the president, and how it is solely the most essential ingredient of life. I want them to have more outlets than they do now and gain the knowledge I was fortunate to experience. You see, the supporting cast I had, and still to this day have, is a major component that kept me so focused and allowed me to have the successes I have had so far in life. But there are other kids that are not as fortunate and don't have the access to that knowledge or resources that I was fortunate to have. I want to commit now in the future to providing those outlets with youth development, mentorship, and networking programs, along with creating the possibility for this town to have a rec center, which would enhance the resources available for generations to come. Again, I am honored to be up here and be in the Wesley Hall of Fame class of 2023. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Father John, Austin.
Our next inductee will be Kevin Conway. And Over my 18-year career as athletic director at Wesley Public Schools, there's been very few student athletes or families who have been able to see the inner circle of my own Vetolino family. When Kevin was a senior, we took a van with Jeremy Octo, also in this class, and one other thrower, Joey Caleo, and Coach DeScilio, and drove down to North Carolina with my 3-year-old at the time. And not many people spend a lot of time with the Vetolinos. Kevin has learned why. That trip still remains a talking point at my own family functions because of the behavior of a 3-year-old and the behavior of the 17-year-olds who were in charge of him at some points. It's also one of my fondest memories and definitely the best trip I've ever taken with the Wesley High School group. So you, Kevin Conway, an outstanding Wesley High School athlete, have brought pride and distinction to yourself, Wesley High School, and the community. Kevin, you attended the University of Mississippi upon graduation from Wesley High School. You jumped from small state high school competition to big-time Division I SEC competition and did so seamlessly. In your 4 years of competition, you earned SEC Academic Honor Roll each season. You also earned all SEC honors for your performances. You currently still land in the top 10 performances of all time in Ole Miss history in the following events: outdoor shot put, 10th, indoor shot put, 9th, hammer, 6th, indoor weight throw, 5th, and in the outdoor discus, 5th. Prior to your accomplishments at the biggest stage, you dominated the Rhode Island high school throws scene. Over the course of your career, you earned 9 all-division and all-class awards in indoor track and field. On top of that, you totaled 16 all-division and all-class honors in outdoor track and field. The real fun begins at the state level. For indoor track and field, you started earning state-level awards as a junior, finishing 3rd in the weight throw event. In your senior year, you improved to 2nd in the weight throw and also placed 3rd in the shot put. You then moved on to the New England Championships in the shot put, where you finished 2nd overall. To cap off your indoor campaign, you traveled to the National Championships, where you finished 6th in the weight throw and earned All-American honors. In outdoor track and field, your upper-level award started your sophomore season when you finished 2nd in the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Outdoor State Meet in the discus. You then repeated that performance your junior year while competing in the shot put and hammer that year as well. As a senior at the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Championships, you took 3rd in the hammer, 2nd in the disc again, and were crowned champion in the shot put. At the New England Championships, you finished 3rd in the shot put and 4th in the disc. Along the way, you broke school records in the shot put and hammer. In addition, you earned the respect of coaches, peers, in our school community and earned the 2012 Most Outstanding Male Athlete Award. For the positive influence that you have had on others, as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments for which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Kevin Conway, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Great. You guys hear me? Yeah. All right. After Austin, that's going to be kind of hard to follow. But I just want to say, first off, thank you to my family, who's all here, especially my mom, for everything that you've done for me since middle school. That includes all high and low moments, there were a lot of. And even to the point where she thought she might have been a bad luck charm for a while, which changed, I think, during the first time I broke a school record, which was really good. I think overall, I just want to thank the sport of track and field. It's really opened up a lot of doors for me. It brought me to the University of Mississippi, where I got to meet my future wife, who will be married in September. And from there, it's really kind of given me just a sense of how I should be as a person, as far as just work ethic in general and trying to do the best I can in anything that I do. So that brought me to working hard enough to get into PT school, which I was able to just finish this January. And then following our wedding, we'll actually be going over to California, where I got into a residency program. All this couldn't have been possible without track and field in the first place. I also want to thank my coaches, Nick Discilio, from all the way back to middle school, who was able to get me into a state meet then that I think really kind of blossomed and sparked my interest in track and field. Rock Palmer, who's not here, but was very tough to, I guess, satisfy, but has really pushed me a lot to get where I am. Even Coach Federico, not being a throws coach, but definitely being an inspiration for track in general. So I thank you guys for where I've come now. And thank you all. Just honored to be part of this class with everybody else in the class of 2023. Thank you.
Kevin, great job. Congratulations. Before I call up our next committee member for the next induction, I need to just correct something. You know how when you have daylight savings, you got to change your clocks, and it's fall back, spring ahead? No. Well, a month or so ago when we sprung ahead, I sprung ahead too far because when I was talking to you before, I said the class of 2024. This is the class of 2023. So I just turned my watch back, so we're back to 2023 now. So I apologize for that. A simple mistake. Anyone could have made it. All right. I'd like to introduce and call up Father Mike Najum to speak on our next inductee. Father?
It is my privilege, my pleasure to introduce Jeremy Octo for this evening's as a recipient into the Hall of Fame. I actually hadn't met Jeremy until this evening, but I had a wonderful phone conversation with him recently, and he shared some beautiful memories with me, and just through his own formation and how he was inspired in his life. Particularly, I'm sure he will mention, but he certainly mentioned his coach, Ryan Palmer, who was really challenged him to be the best he could be. And I know Jeremy is certainly blessed this evening to be surrounded with love by his family. I know his sister Jillian and his mom Jennifer, and I think your brother is not able to be here, I think, this evening. And in a special way, Jeremy, we know that your dad is with us in spirit this evening, and he is very proud of you for your accomplishments in your life, not just your athletic career, but just for becoming the man that you are. A 2012 graduate of Westerly High School, you, Jeremy Octo, had an outstanding career in indoor and outdoor track. You established a school record and competed at the highest levels in both the state and New England championships. You also played football and lettered all 4 years in high school. In 2010, you were the Southern Division champion in both the shot put and discus. That same year, you were the class and state champion in the discus, and you finished second in the states for the shot put. You were the 2011 Southern Division and state champion in the discus and Southern Division, class and state champion in the shot put. You also competed in the All New England tournament and finished second in the discus. In 2012, it was much of the same. You were class and state champion in the discus, and you earned a third-place finish in the shot put during the state meet. For the second year in a row, you finished second in the discus in the New England tournament. Also in 2012, you established and still hold the Westerly High School discus record with a throw of 82 feet 11 inches. You also distinguished yourself in indoor track. In 2011, you were the Southern Division and class champion in the shot put, and you finished second in that event in the state competition. By the time you graduated from Westerly, you were recognized as one of the top weight men in all of Rhode Island and New England. After high school, you attended Northeastern, Louisiana State University, and the University of Rhode Island. You participated in track and LSU, but a back injury at URI prevented you from competing any further. For the positive influence that you have had on others, as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments for which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Jeremy Octo, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jeff. Thank you.
So, as an athlete at Westerly, I just want to talk about some of the things that contributed to my success and the success of my teammates. A lot of it came down to the atmosphere that we were brought up in. We had some of the best coaches in the state and some of the best teammates in the state. Kevin was a driving force in being competitive every day, and that ultimately contributed to my success as an athlete. Ryan Palmer, Nick DeScilio, Coach Federico, Jamie Vettalino, wherever you are, were all just driving forces for me to be successful because they were there, they showed up, and they cared. And that's it. Thank you very much.
I have the honor of introducing our next three inductees. The first one will be Tricia Rosso, and I remember Trish back when she was at Wesley High School and participating as a two-sport star in basketball and softball. At a time when I guess you would say that girls' athletics was not as prominent or popular as it is today. But that did not deter her or stop her from being probably one of the most outstanding athletes to ever come out of Wesley High School. I'd like to read you something from one of our committee members, Darlene Cretion, who is also in the Hall of Fame. And she wanted me to read this to Trish. She said, "I am not a close friend, but I am an acquaintance and have known Trish since my middle school basketball with Kristen Odo. I graduated in '88 and she was in '83, so my interactions were only a few times a season. We used to have the varsity team at times help us practice, and we would always watch their games. Trish was always a standout player who was friendly and helpful with the younger girls. I used to love watching her dynamic play. She was a huge playmaker and shooter. We used to look forward to the interactions and being around her team. Her all-division and state rewards are truly significant. During a time when there was only one division in the state, she was one of the best Wesley High School has seen. Her softball career at Wesley High School was noteworthy as well, but I'm more impressed with her contribution to our community and the young girls of Westerly that she's given for so many years. Congratulations to Trish. I wish I was there to see this, but I will be attending my son's graduation." And there was a recurrent theme when we were considering Trish for induction, how she made and left such an impact on the younger girls in Westerly as a player at the high school and later on when she became involved in the Westerly Girls Softball League. A lot of the successes that these young ladies have experienced in their lives directly attributed to what the path that Trish paved for them as a role model and also as someone who did things the right way. She worked hard, she was successful, and she gave back. Tonight we're giving back to you, Trish, for all you did. You, Tricia Rosso, a 1983 graduate of Wesley High School, were a trailblazer for female athletes at that time and up to this present day. You excelled as a two-sport star in basketball and softball and continued your athletic career beyond Wesley High School. As a high school athlete, your teams experienced winning seasons and your basketball teams were divisional champions in 1980, 1981, and 1983. Individually, you were selected captain of your basketball and softball teams. You earned all division 3 straight years in basketball and softball. You were the basketball team's leading scorer during most games in your 3 years, and a career highlight was when your team beat Stonington for the first time in 11 years. And you did not just distinguish yourself as an athlete. As a student, you were on the honor roll all 3 years in high school. You went to Mitchell College after graduating Wesley High School, and you graduated in 85 with an associate's degree in business administration and management. While at Mitchell College, you played basketball, and your team won the divisional championship in the 1983-1984 season. You have quite an impressive history with the Wesley Women's Softball League. You started playing at age 15 and continued playing up to the age of 50. During your 35-year playing career, you achieved the highest batting average in the league and won both the MVP and the Good Sportsmanship Award. In addition to playing, you also coached youth softball. Your teams were always among the elite, and you were once selected Coach of the Year. You started playing sports as a young girl and continued to be involved through your adult life as a player and an officer of the softball league. Throughout your life, you have led by example and have been a role model to many young girls and women. Frequently, you have been told how idolized you were as a player. What a tribute to this is to all you have done for female athletes in this community. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model, and in recognition of your many accomplishments, for which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School. In addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Tricia Rosso, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Yeah. A, I hate this stuff. B, I'm told to hold the microphone close to my mouth because we could hardly hear you guys. So, can you hear me? Yeah. All right. So, Cinco de Mayo today, right? Thought everybody would have their margaritas in their hands, but don't see any of that laying around here. So, wow, it's like, what an honor it is for me to be standing at this podium, being inducted into the Wesley Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you so much. I will start by saying congratulations to the other 6 HOF inductees this evening, plus Mr. Charlie Holdridge as a contributor. Being my next door neighbor, he would always find the time to come out and play baseball with us and when we were kids. Well, he had no choice as we played in his yard. So, knock on his door, Charlie, I want to play. So we had to have him outside to play, along with my folks back there and the Michael, Tara, right there. So, so we were chosen as the elite athletes for this year's Hall of Fame. That has to make you all feel proud of this accomplishment, knowing the hard work, dedication, and commitment it takes to become an athlete. As Mr. Morano talked about what it takes to be picked as an inductee during our radio interviews and the number of years you must be out of school before being nominated, I believe he said it was 10. I wrote 9, but he corrected it tonight, so it is 10. Heck, I'm working on 40. So my paperwork, I think my paperwork got lost along the way. So after all, I'm the oldest inductee here tonight. Before I get to my thank yous, I must say, if it were not for my parents, I wouldn't be standing here tonight. All right, we're all thanking our parents. My parents sacrificed a lot to make sure I was where I needed to be for the practicing games, not just from high school, but from the time I started down the athletic road. It all started with recreational sports for me. Women's athletics have come a long way today. I have been playing sports since I was old enough to hold the ball. When I was involved in sports, there was not a difference in the ball sizes for basketball. Women used the same size ball as men. We also did not have a three-point shot, or I'd be right behind you, Austin. That all changed in 1984. Yep, year after I graduated. The women's basketball was made 1 inch smaller. How I wish I had that ball during my high school career, along with the three-point shots. None of that existed when I played ball. Man, how the times have changed. Women are actually getting paid to play ball. Women are now being drafted to the WNBA, which started in 1997. Do the math on that from 1983. Albeit it is my past, it's past my prime. I wish I could do it all over again. My biggest highlight of my basketball career was beating Stonington High School. I feel like Mr. Moreno had my speech in his hands, so I'm not really sure where all that came from. So, in Stonington High School and I made a half-court shot with 5 seconds left in the third quarter. This brought us within 3 points of the game. We went on to win the game, and my class became the first to have beaten Stonington in 11 years. Finally, we broke the ice for all other classes moving forward. We actually also beat Stonington at their own turf as well. I did all that in a pair of high-top leather Converse. Imagine if I was wearing a pair of Air Jordans. I didn't own those. The best part, aside from me making the shot, was my family friend who was filming the game that night for me with his camcorder, aka video camera, and that was thanks to Mr. Herb Arnold. Yes, folks, that was the technology of the time. Not as easy as holding the iPad or streaming on TV. Well, the ball went in the basket and his camera fell out of his hands. He got the shot on the video, and then all you saw was the ceiling of the gym for a few seconds. It was the best moment all around. And then my dad, he almost recorded over the whole game trying to record a show called This Old House for Mrs. Arnold when they were doing a show about her horse carriages. So, close family friends, obviously. He taped over the first quarter of the game and a few minutes into the second quarter. Still have that shot on video, though. My accomplishments in basketball were not made alone. It was a team effort, as in any sport. Now, moving on to my softball career, I started in the Wesley Girls Softball League until my high school days started. Played in many tournaments as a youngster. Started coaching when I was 16 for the same league I grew up playing in. I started playing in the Wesley Women's Softball League at the age of 15. Women's slow pitch softballs also remain an inch smaller. Yes, I said slow pitch. Right, 1983, go back. Rhode Island did not move into fast pitch softball until after 1985. This then paved the way and opened the door for Wesley athletes to compete on a college level and be eligible for scholarships. It was always interesting to see the players that played fast pitch versus slow pitch hit a slow pitch softball. It was actually comical. They could not get it out of the infield, and I think a few people probably can vouch for that are here this evening. This all coming from my women's softball league play. It would take fast pitch players a year or two to finally get it down on how to hit slow pitch balls. I love pitching to those folks because they always stood up on the plate and then they'd hit popcorn to the infield. So I could bring the whole outfield in. Jen over here would vouch for that, and we'd be able to catch that ball because they would never hit it past shortstop. And then where slow pitch, you should always stay back, obviously. I always had great times playing ball in the women's league. I was fortunate to have played in that league again since I was 15. They lowered the age limit so the league would continue, and I ended up running the league for many years as well. and I finally retired from playing ball at the age 50. Then had to come out of retirement because a friend of mine, Melissa Storr, who was supposed to be here this evening but couldn't make it, would not give up playing. I could not wait until she was 50 because she said she would stop. Well, in the interim of the 2 years back in action, we went on to play in an over 40 tournament in South Carolina. Lil Rhodey comes in and wins the tournament. People were not too happy with us. We looked like thugs, and the other teams were all spiffy in their uniforms and had their own bats and bat bags. We had our bag of bats, but also had the beer. What fun times. It is really all about the folks you meet, the friendships created, and your teammates. I am actually still active in sports, and I must say I am on the pickleball trend, so throw it now. Been playing for almost 3 years and have accomplished gold medal, silver medal, and some tournament play. See, you are never too old, so stay active and live life to the fullest. It takes a team to win, and the word team stands for together everyone achieves more. That will be with you no matter if you are playing sports or in your career. Now let's get to those thank yous, as I am sure I bored you all enough, or hopefully made you laugh a lot. Sounds like I made you laugh a lot. Again, many thanks to the folks that selected me as a Hall of Famer, and that you recognized my hard work and achievements. Thanks to my family who are here this evening, my parents Bob and Zal, for always having the confidence in me to succeed, and I hope I have made them proud of who I became today. I can tell you that they never missed a game. In those days, our games were at 3 p.m. Unlike today, more people can attend, and because they are later in the evening. To my sister T, who owns So What Custom Embroidery, who was my counterpart, and I brought my favorite neighborhood friend here, Mike, who we grew up together in our neighborhood, was my counterpart in sports and always would play with me no matter what. If I wanted to play basketball, she'd shoot with me. If I wanted to play catch, she'd throw with me. Did not matter what it was, she would do it. We traipsed off to find the neighborhood kids and come up with some sort of game to play. My older sister Robin, I have to thank for always cleaning up after me, so I can go off and play. She would also attend my games. And thanks to my coaches, Tucker Terranova, who's here this evening, Chris Reet, and Jack Carson, for riding me hard so I became the athlete I am today. They paved the path for me and taught me things like discipline, dedication, commitment, teamwork, strategy, and tenacity. And I think I used every word in the dictionary on that line. And lastly, thanks to many friends and family I have here supporting me tonight on this special event this evening. I am grateful that you all came to honor me. I will end by saying, live a good life, and remember, it's not the years in the life, but the life in the years.
Our next inductee will be Deborah Godbout. Now, the majority of the athletes that get into the Hall of Fame, and this is not a requirement, it's just the way it works out, probably in our discussion of credentials, play or succeed in several sports. It's unusual when we have an athlete that excels in just one. It's not impossible, and we have many people in the Hall of Fame that have accomplished Hall of Fame status through their efforts and accomplishments in one sport. And Deborah Godbout is one of those. From the time she was that big, and I remember, because I remember watching her play, her passion was always soccer. And she worked and worked and worked to develop into one of the finest soccer players to ever play at Wesley High School. She continued beyond high school and into her adult life, and currently is still involved in soccer. And that's quite a tribute to someone who has that sort of passion for something and can stay with it that long, through that many years. And I'm sure it wasn't easy for her to do that, but she never lost sight of what her goal was, what her ambition was, and what her passion was. And it's led her to this moment this evening, where she'll be honored and inducted into the Hall of Fame for her accomplishments in the sport of soccer. So you, Deborah Godbout, a 1998 graduate of Wesley High School, demonstrated your love for soccer at a very early age. You started playing when you were 4 years old and continued playing throughout your high school and college. Once your playing career ended, you began coaching and staying actively involved in the sport so dear to your heart. Your first experience with soccer was with the Wesley Youth Program, in addition to playing with the South County Travel Team and the Rhode Island Olympic Development Team. Throughout middle and high school, you were known as a strong defensive player, earning various recognitions, which led to playing 4 years on the URI Rams girls soccer team. After graduating college, you began your coaching career, which included stints as an assistant coach on the Olympic Development Team and at Westerly Middle School. Your experience as a player and coach landed you a position as assistant coach of the Salve Regina University girls soccer team. After 2 successful years at Salve, you became the head coach at Newberry College, where you started and developed the women's soccer program at that school. In 2006, you were working with the New England Revolution Soccer Academy while still coaching at Newberry. To this day, you are still working with the Revolution, having moved up the ranks to program coordinator for the Soccer Academy at Gillette Stadium. In your role with the New England Revolution, you helped raise $50,000 to bring soccer opportunities to children in Boston throughout the Coaches for Change program. You and your spouse, Deidre, live in Milton, Mass., and you have a son, Maddox. For the positive influence that you have had on others as a role model, and in recognition of your many accomplishments, for which you brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Deborah Godbout, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Okay, just a couple of thank yous. Thank you to the committee. Thank you to my parents for driving hundreds of thousands of miles all over the Northeast for soccer tournaments while I was growing up, and to all my family that are here tonight. I've made some of my lifelong best friends from playing soccer. I had my first soccer coaching opportunity here with Babcock Middle School, which helped jumpstart my coaching career. And really now what I'm looking to do is just make soccer more inclusive and be able to provide soccer opportunities for people in underserved communities, players with cerebral palsy, players that have amputee, and making sure that it's, a fully inclusive sport in the Massachusetts and New England area. Thank you for everybody that came here. Congratulations to everybody else that's inducted. And also a big thank you to any of the volunteer parent coaches that are here tonight, because that's where it really starts. I'm going to end my speech now because I have to actually coach my son tomorrow, who's 6. So I have to get back to Boston this evening. So I'll pass it on to the next one. Thank you.
Our next inductee, just the opposite of Deb, she was a 3-sport athlete at Wesley High School, and she has excelled in all 3. She's probably a little bit better in one than the other two, but she excelled in all three. And it's no surprise because she has some good genes. The DNA that she, I guess the word is inherited, I'm certain contributed to her success as an athlete. When we first thought about inducting Liz and looking at her credentials, I didn't know as much about her as I knew or I learned after we spoke on what she had accomplished. I was so impressed. She truly was a tremendous athlete, and she is also one of those that I would say would rank in the top very few of, or in the top 3 or 4 of female athletes to ever come out of Wesley High School. And I think you can concur with that after I read to you her citation and what she has accomplished throughout her life. Very, very impressive, and certainly someone who is very deserving of being in our Hall of Fame. And I'm just so happy that we have had the opportunity to induct her here this evening. You, Elizabeth Harrington Ayala, were a 3-sport athlete at Wesley High School. A 2007 graduate, you played basketball, tennis, and softball, earning recognition in all 3. You were a varsity player on the basketball team for 4 years. You were a 3-year starter in softball, earning second-team All-State twice. But it was as a tennis player that you made your mark. In your sophomore year, you made it to the state round of 16, making second-team All-State. In your junior year, you lost in the state semifinals, but made first-team All-State. Your senior year, you lost in the state finals, the first time a Wesley girl had advanced that far, but you were selected first-team All-State again. Your accomplishments as a tennis player earned you a scholarship to Division I Sacred Heart, where you were in the starting lineup all 4 years as a singles and doubles player. You graduated from Sacred Heart in 2011. Other honors include being named the best female athlete in your Wesley High School graduating class, and you are considered to be one of the top 3 female tennis players ever at Wesley High School. You were also awarded the Joseph C. Spears Memorial Scholarship and the Kevin Wohl Scholarship. In college, you earned the Dean Scholarship, the Trustee Scholarship, and the Thomas More Honor Scholarship. In addition, you received the ITA Scholarship all 4 years at Sacred Heart and earned all NEC second team your sophomore year. After college, you worked as the assistant coach of the Wesley girls tennis team in 2012 and 2013. You then became head coach of the Williams School co-ed tennis team in 2015 and 2016, and from 2017 until 2019, you were the assistant coach of the Marine Science Magnet High School crew team. You just completed your 17th summer working as a tennis professional and instructor at the Weekapaug Tennis Club. Currently, you are also a teaching professional at the Pondview Racket Club and a math teacher at the Marine Science Magnet School in Groton, Connecticut. You and your husband reside in Westerly. For the positive influences that you have had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments, for which you have brought pride and fame to Wesley High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Elizabeth Harrington Ayala, are hereby inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start out by thanking everyone for coming tonight and supporting all of our inductees. I'm both honored and humbled to be part of this prestigious group. While I personally have so many individuals I'd like to thank, The first one is my mother, Kathy Harrington, and I'll do so through my origin story. I grew up playing basketball and softball, spent a few years on the swim team, and even did a little bit of gymnastics when I was really young. But the August before my freshman year of high school, my mother decided it would be a good idea to sign me up for a week-long tennis camp at Charahoe High School. She had heard that basketball tryouts at the high school were brutal, with a lot of running, and thought it would be a good idea to have a sport to play in the fall so I could stay in shape for basketball. And she also thought it would be a good way to make some friends on my way into high school. Tennis is also a great lifelong sport, where basketball and softball often end after high school or college. Not for Trish. For reasons I cannot recall, I was not happy about this, and she pretty much dragged me kicking and screaming to that tennis camp. This was a defining moment for me that changed the way I would live for the rest of my life. I started that week by hitting a ton of tennis balls over the fence. Remember, I'm a softball player. Like I was trying to hit a home run. But by the end of the week, I had kind of gotten the hang of it, and to my surprise, I kind of liked it. A few days later, I tried out for the WHS tennis team, and the good news was the team was so small that no one was cut. I don't know how they do this in other sports, but in tennis, there's a ladder where we're literally numbered from one top to worst, best to worst. And I started out on the bottom of the ladder in the number 14th spot out of 14 due to my inexperience. However, we have a challenge system, and players could challenge the person above them to a match, and if they won, they would take their spots. Throughout my season, my coach allowed me to challenge a few times, and halfway through the season, I had worked my way up to number 10, which is part of the starting lineup. I played number 3 doubles that year. We actually won the Division III state championship, which was an amazing thing to experience. This brings me to the second person I need to thank, my father, Don Harrington, who flew all the way to Florida tonight to be here. Thank you. Once the tennis season was over, it was time for basketball tryouts, which were as brutal as promised. And while I loved basketball, I had caught the tennis bug, and so had my dad, who previously was an avid racquetball player. We spent any free time I had at the Airport Road courts hitting tennis balls. And then I began taking lessons from my private coach, Jim Haslin, who worked with my mom and was the coach of the Coast Guard Academy men's tennis team. And he gave me tennis lessons every Sunday for 2 hours for 4 straight years. He also introduced me to my other private coach, Shimmick Lipinski, who was able to work with me on some techniques such as my serve and my footwork. They both taught me so much, and I'm forever grateful for the time they spent with me. Besides my weekly tennis lesson, my dad played with me at the Airport Road courts as much as possible through both the basketball and softball seasons. Then came summer, and my dad and I pretty much played every day. And by the time the fall season of my sophomore year came around, I had improved my skills so much that after the ladder matches, I ended up being the number 1 player on the team. My dad and I continue to practice before and after team practice all season. And I can really attribute most of my success in the sport to my dad just being there to help me practice my skills, and my 2 private coaches. Now, while I learned most of my tennis techniques from my private coaches, I can't forget about all of my amazing high school coaches, too. I had 3 different tennis coaches during my 4 years at Wesley High School. The first was Sarah Steverman in my freshman year, Amanda Felicelli during my sophomore year, and finally Brian Kluberdans for my junior and senior years. They were all amazing coaches who supported the team and my game. In addition to tennis, I also played 3 years of varsity basketball and 4 years of varsity softball. I think I learned something different from every coach that I had at WHS, including my 3 tennis coaches, but in addition, Chris Luppy in basketball and softball, and Holly Misto in basketball. These coaches taught me a lot about teamwork and the value of hard work and perseverance through challenging times and so much more. With the encouragement of all these people in my life and a lot of my own hard work, I continued improving my tennis skills and my love for the sport grew. Despite many people telling me that I shouldn't play 3 sports if I wanted to play tennis in college, I ended up getting a tennis scholarship to a Division I school, Sacred Heart, where I played in the starting lineup in the fall and spring season for 4 years. It was a wonderful experience traveling to different schools throughout the Northeast and as far as Palm Springs, California for spring break. Tennis has been a big part of my life for that first week of tennis camp at Charahoe High School to this day. When I was 16, I got into teaching tennis at a few different local tennis venues, including the Weekapaug Tennis Club, where I just completed my 17th season teaching last summer. This sport has truly changed my life for the better, and I'm so grateful for everything it has given to me. I've continued to play regularly on several local teams, and have continued to give lessons to males and females, ages 5 to 90. And I've also coached tennis at the Williams School and Wesley High School. I owe so much to the experiences I had during my high school career, and I will forever be grateful for these opportunities. Playing sports or being part of other school-endorsed activities is so important for the growth of a student. I'm a high school math teacher, and I've coached tennis and crew to high school students, and I will always continue to give back, as I know how important it is to encourage students to work hard, understand the importance of teamwork, and also have fun, so that their high school experience is something they can look back on with fondness. I don't know if you could tell as I waddled up here, but I am due to have twins in August. Thank you. And I can't wait to teach them the lessons that I learned and get them started in sports. Who knows, I might have an amazing doubles team on my hands someday. I wanted to close by saying how truly honored I am to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. I want to thank my parents for all of their support and guidance that they have given me over the years. And I also want to thank all of my high school and college coaches and my 2 tennis instructors who provided me with guidance and encouragement when I was learning the game. And last but definitely not least, I want to personally thank Mr. Morano and the rest of the selection committee for selecting me as one of the 2023 inductees. I know there are many, many worthy candidates each year, so the decision must be very difficult. Congratulations to all of the other inductees tonight, and again, thank you for everyone to coming and support us.
I'd like to ask Bob Caradillo to come up to introduce our last 2 inductees.
Thank you, Coach.
No, it's mine.
Oh, sorry, Coach. You'll really be in trouble.
Good evening. What a special night this is. Can you hear me? What a special night this is every year. This year's no different as we enshrine another 8 more into this exclusive fraternity, the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame. It's a great night to be a Bulldog. I know I'm proud to be both a Hall of Fame member as well as serving on the selection committee with my colleagues. I nominated 2 people for induction in this class, and I'm going to talk about first John Wolfers. Because I was playing in college at the time, John was playing in high school, I only got to see him play twice, both on Thanksgiving Day back in 1982 and 1983. I remember thinking back then that he was the best defensive player on the field in both of those games. He was all over the place. He was everywhere. He was strong and quick, and more often than not, devastated his opponent who was lined up across from him. My brother John, Piper, John's best friend and teammate, called him the best teammate he ever had. In 1982, here's a quick story, one of the only ones I can tell. My brother's senior year and John's junior year, Coach Morano, you may remember this, decided to have them switch positions for the St. Ray's game, with Piper moving to middle linebacker and Johnny moving to nose guard. My brother, by his own admission, had no idea what he was doing at middle linebacker. Normally, the middle linebacker lines up about 2 to 3 yards behind the nose guard in the 53 defense that we used to play. But Piper and Johnny were practically wearing the same uniform that evening, as my brother was very close to John's backside the whole evening. And every snap, according to my brother, he would shove Johnny into the center to try to break up the play. He wasn't afraid. Johnny had like a 20-inch neck, and he could withstand anything anybody could dish out. So he knew he wouldn't get hurt. Then I asked my brother if John used to do that to him when they had switched positions, and even though they played behind each other every game for 2 years, he couldn't remember. Lineman coach, right? Lineman. Gotta love him, though. Anyway, they lost a close game. Do you remember that, by the way? Yeah, I do. You do? They lost a close game, and that, I guess, was the end of that experiment. The last time I saw John, we were getting our respective vehicles oil changed at Valvoline on Franklin Street. We talked about the old days, family, sports, work. For a good 30 minutes, we had a great conversation. We talked about the pressure that comes with a high-level job. And as we hugged goodbye, we promised each other to try and slow down and enjoy life a bit more. Less than a week later, he was gone. We always ask why when someone is taken so young, and the only answer is it was his time. That day in November of 2017 was when John was called home. His time. Tonight is also John's time. His time to be recognized as one of the all-time greats ever to wear a Westerly High School football uniform. And I'm honored to present him for posthumous induction this evening. John Wolfers, a 1984 graduate of Westerly High School, was an all-state football player who was recognized as one of the fiercest linebackers ever to play at Westerly. As a middle linebacker, he was respected and feared by opposing coaches and players throughout the state of Rhode Island. John led his team in tackles, both his junior and senior seasons. In one memorable game his senior year against Narragansett, John had 11 solo tackles and caused a safety by tackling all-state running back Chris Poirier in the end zone. That same year in the Turkey Day game, John had 13 tackles and 2 sacks to lead his team to victory. Westerly allowed the fewest points in Class B his senior year, and John was the leader of the defense that established that record. In addition to being a Providence Journal All-State selection, John was a unanimous All-Division player in both his junior and senior years. Coaches were known to design specific blocking assignments to try and stop John, but to no avail. He still wreaked havoc on opposing ball carriers and quarterbacks, including against Stonington, when he was twice named Outstanding Defensive Player of the Game. After high school, John followed his dad's footsteps as a construction worker. Wolfers was a senior superintendent for J.L. Marshall and Son before his death in November of 2017. John will always be remembered by family, friends, teammates, and the entire Westerly football community as a force on the football field and a fun-loving gentleman off the field. For the positive influence that he has had on others as a role model and in recognition of his many accomplishments for which he brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, John Wolfers is hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame. And we'd like John's family all to come up here, please.
They're coming. Yeah, they're coming. Everybody's moving a little slow. Okay. Is Mom here? Good evening. My name is Tracy Chipperfield, and I am John's sister. And along with my family, my husband Tim, my dad Jack, my mom Arlene, my stepmom Jean, and my sister Danielle, we are very proud to be here to celebrate the athletic achievements of all the honorees in the 2023 Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame. My brother John was not only an exceptional football player, but also a compassionate and caring person who touched many lives personally and professionally. John had many role models that created the football player and man that he became. First and foremost, my dad and mom, and then on to his football career, beginning with the Pee Wee program with Joe Vaca, Charlie Vaca, and the many others in the community who contributed to that program. Then on to his high school playing, where he was mentored by Coach Jim Morano and his amazing staff, Coach Mitchell, Coach Reed, Coach Samaggio, and Coach Vera Marone. The strong support system and guidance he received from our close-knit family, many friends and coaches, all became an influential part of John's life. We are all so proud of John's accomplishments as a football player, from being recognized in the Thanksgiving Day games, division, conference, and state levels. My husband and many others who played with John from an early age described his play on the field as being intelligent, with a great ability to read offenses, always being in the right place at the right time along with his fellow teammates, especially Piper. John's career after football began with Chirenza and Sons, where he met Ray Chirenza, who became not only his boss, but his mentor and friend as well. From there, he went on to J.L. Marshall and Sons, where he was a senior superintendent who was instrumental in the construction of many high-profile projects, including Foxwoods Hard Rock Cafe, Mohegan Sun's Earth Hotel, multiple buildings at Yale University, namely the Forestry Building, Arts and Science Building, and many other projects. However, one of the projects that he was most proud of was his part in the building of Gillette Stadium. That is home to his beloved Patriots football team, which if you knew John, he was extremely passionate about. By him being honored this evening, we know that John's achievements and successes will remain alive in the stories that will be told by his teammates and those lives that he touched. I am sure he's smiling down at being honored for his achievements. Once again, we would like to thank the committee, and especially his stepdaughter Jackie Force, unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, for nominating John for this great honor. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Our last inductee this evening is Charles Holdridge III, Chaz. What can I say about Charlie that hasn't already been said? Mostly by him. However, when I presented Jim Capizano for induction last year, I told those in the crowd to settle in, as Jim can certainly tell a story with the best of them, and his stories are not often short ones, if you know Jim. Chaz is in another league. Don't worry about a wheelchair stopping Charlie. He'll still be able to deliver his speech this evening, so I hope you brought a change of clothes. Seriously, I have been around the game of football for many years, pee-wees, high school, college. I think I know the game pretty well, but I have to say, without any measure of doubt, that I have never met anybody more passionate about the game of football than Charlie Holdridge. Never. Not even close. He loves the game. He's been everywhere to see a game. He's met everyone who is anyone within the game. And he has a story, which I've heard many of, about every encounter, and they're great ones. He devours the game of football as much as he can during the season, then studies and prepares for the next season, with Jane by his side, of course. He is known throughout our area, especially in Rhode Island, Connecticut, but is also recognized nationally in many circles for his expertise on and love of the game of football. Just visit his home and Jane's home once, and you'll be treated to piles of photos, stories, and other memorabilia of Charlie's sports escapades, 99% of them which center around the game of football. This is a special man. He's a great and giving man. Charlie and Jane have a wonderful legacy with their children and grandchildren, but also with a lifetime of giving of themselves to this community. They have always answered the bell for the Westerly Stonington community. Charlie, my friend, nominated me for this Hall of Fame, and I was inducted in 2009. I love the man. It was my honor to nominate him this year, and tonight it's my privilege to present him for induction. You, Charles H. Holdridge III, are being inducted into the Wesley High School Athletic Hall of Fame for your numerous contributions to the Wesley athletic program. Throughout many years, you will forever be known as the voice of the Bulldogs. For 32 years, you were the public address announcer at Wesley football games, as well as announcing the Wesley Community Credit Union Holiday Basketball Tournament for many years. Your reputation as a fundraiser is legendary. You and your wife, Jane, were instrumental in helping raise money for the lights on Algieri Field, along with raising money for other organizations throughout the years. As a graduate of Stonington High School, you were a three-sport athlete in football, basketball, and baseball. You have the distinction of being the only Stonington graduate to have been inducted into the Westerly Hall of Fame, and also the only person to serve on both the Westerly and Stonington Hall of Fame committees. To this day, you still continue to play a prominent role in the Westerly-Stonington Thanksgiving Day rivalry. A major Westerly High School athletic event would not be complete without your involvement or some kind of contribution. Your dedication to Westerly High School and other sport-related venues does not end there. You have announced Westerly Pee Wee football games and emceed their banquets. You also emceed the 100th anniversary banquet for the Westerly Stonington football game. You were involved in the Rhode Island chapter of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame, as well as being a 27-year member of the Board of Directors for the Providence Gridiron Club. You were inducted in their Hall of Fame in 2003 and served as president for 2 years. By 1990, you and another Bulldog fan volunteered to coach the Westerly High School track team for a meet against East Greenwich, when the coaches were unable to attend. Of course, you edged out East Greenwich, winning the meet by 3 points. You've had a lifetime of community service with your involvement in the Westerly Sports Boosters, the Watch Hill Fire Department, and several other clubs and committees, which are too numerous to mention. You are an honored Army veteran, and you had a 40-year distinguished career for the Electric Boat Division of General Dynamics. You also played fast and slow pitch softball until the age of 53. Needless to say, you have led a life of community involvement and giving, for which you are being honored here tonight. You and your wife have been married for 57 years and have 2 children, Ginny and Brian, several grandchildren, step-grandchildren, and 1 step-great-grandchild. For the positive influence that you've had on others as a role model and in recognition of your many accomplishments, for which you have brought pride and fame to Westerly High School, in addition to the honor and distinction bestowed upon our community and state, you, Charles H. Holdridge III, are hereby inducted into the Westerly High School Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, since he gave me this big build-up, I will admit that I went out to South Bend, Indiana, to attend a Notre Dame football game. They were playing Brigham Young. And that was like, going to see the Taj Mahal, you name it, the Eiffel Tower in Paris. It was what a spectacular event. I mean, there's other teams probably a little better than Notre Dame football, but that is a happening out there. The place was packed. All kinds of shenanigans going on the whole weekend. They had all these different events, so that's the part of football I like. So. Great athletes. Now, I did play sports. I didn't just give all the schools $100,000 and sit back. I played a lot of sport: football, basketball, and baseball. I was either captain of the baseball team, but I didn't go to Wesley High. I went to your arch enemy over there, Stonington High School. I lived on Moore Street, just opposite West Broad Street School, and then as time went on, I was planning on moving to Wesley. I had land over there in a house we were building, so my wife and I went on the Wesley side of the river. Well, then now I didn't change my allegiance per se, but I changed my way of thinking. I got to take care of Wesley High School. That's where my son and daughter are going to go to school, and maybe their children. So anyway, we moved over the other side of the river, and Ginny was the firstborn, and she played soccer for Wesley High School, and the coach was Jack Carson. And you played all 3 years, did you? Yep. All 3 years that she played on the soccer team. And then Brian came along. Now, you know I love football. So he had to play football. And his coach, the distinguished Jim Morano behind me, was his football coach. And Brian loved him. He's a great coach, he said. And he played all 4 years, I believe it was, on the football team. And they had some battles with Stonington. I don't know if Stonington was even with them or not, but anyway. So Brian played football. What's the other sport? Track. And football and track. And then in college, when he went to Providence College, he played rugby, and there was another one, isn't there? Just mainly rugby. He played rugby. Hey, you like that? Huh? But my wife got these shoes especially for me because I can't walk right now. I can't walk at all. I'm confined to a wheelchair for a while anyway. And I don't know what happened. It was a week or so ago. Couldn't get out of bed. Brought me to Wesley Hospital. Now I'm in a nursing home, so here I am. So, yeah, in fact, all the girls at the nursing home dressed me tonight. They put my tie on, my shirt, pants, sport jacket. Yeah, I get along with them pretty good. So anyway, where are we now? Oh, and I want to congratulate the Hall of Famers that were put in this year. And I especially want to congratulate Trish Rosso. Why do you say that? Because we were neighbors. And when she was growing up, and I could see that she was going to be a heck of an athlete. She was the best athlete in the neighborhood at her age, for her age group, and a little bit beyond that. And they had a little basketball court in the front, and I'd go over and play ball with the little kids. And then one day, they were looking for me. They were playing in my backyard or wherever. And they went over, and my wife answered the door. And they said, "Is Charlie home?" I was Charlie. I was one of the guys. So my wife said, "No, he went into town to do something, but he'll be right back." He says, "I'll go out and throw the ball around with you." And they said, "Lady," now Trish probably never remember this, "you can't throw and you can't catch. So we'll wait till Charlie comes home." She flipped out. She went haywire, screaming, yelling, "How can they do this to me?" You're not exactly the world's greatest athlete, but that's all right. So then, as time went on, we moved over to Westerly. So then Brian came along after Ginny, and he played Pee Wee football. I got involved with that, Lou and Charlie Rocker and all the other crew that was up there. And I remember Lou Vaca, that owned the tire shop in town. He and I bought a big, huge trophy. I hope it's still there. And they won the championship, the Southeastern Connecticut Rhode Island League. And so I got involved with that. So yeah, I'm on my way now. Then Brian played basketball with the Reverend's son that did the Sir Mike Najum tonight. They played basketball together. Then Brian played Little League Baseball, and we're getting closer to the high school now. And then pretty soon he goes out for freshman football, and I fall right in to help out what I can do here and there. And I remember a big track meet that Dave Federico was the coach then of the team. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. I'm getting into Hannah's territory now. So we'll jump ahead. Hannah comes along, and she's a good runner. She plays soccer and track. Kaylee. What did I say, Hannah? You didn't even play track. So you have to excuse me. I'm out of it. So anyway, I was discussing with Dave. I said, Hannah's kind of fast. I went to all the track meets, and I said, Kaylee. I said, she's kind of fast. I said, but we don't have the right event for her. She's running a 400 meters or whatever. I said, she's not quite quick enough. She's not up among the top runners. We got to find an event for her. Everybody has an event. Everybody has a sport. So we discussed it over, and we came up with the hurdles. Well, that was it, the hurdles. So she started up among the elite runners. She was not necessarily winning all the races, but she was right up there. And so finally, she won the state championship and in the 330 meter hurdles, and she won the championship. So we can give her a hand for that great accomplishment. So then I was now on to the, all of the high school bit, and John Brutcher over there, that's Shannon's son, my stepson. He was a good football player. Step-grandson? Well, that's all right. Son's good. He turned out to be a spectacular, I thought anyway, defensive back and a great punt returner. He could catch a ball in a crowd. You can catch a ball coming down with everybody wrapped around your neck and hold on to it. You're all right. So he did that. He scored a couple of touchdowns against Stonington, I believe, in the Wesley Stonington game. So let's see now. My notes. Reagan now. Now Reagan is a little bit different kind of an athlete. She's a volleyball gymnastics player. So that's a little off the beaten path, but it's good. And you ran track one year. Did you run track? Yeah, you did. You ran track one year. So I encouraged them all to play sports, because this is what it's all about. It's a sports venue here. So I needle them, actually, is a better word. So they, and then now we come to Hannah, the great tennis player. Now, she was, you went out for tennis all 4 years. You were all Eastern Connecticut Conference in the doubles, in the singles. You were on the state championship Stonington team that finally beat Weston High School. I remember that. That's amazing. Weston High School was always the champs in that Class M bracket. So you kind of busted that little seance up there for a while. So, I miss anybody? I don't want to miss anybody now. Yeah, I'm good. I got it covered, everybody? One more. Megan. Megan was, she wasn't athletic, and she was a great horseback rider. She didn't play the traditional sports. So she was a phenomenal horse rider. So I got everybody to do something, play sports. Oh, Brady, yes. Brady. He didn't play for you, did he, Jim? Brady, find your son. Oh, you're not Jim. Where is he? He's over here? Oh, you were gone by then. So Brady, he was a football track guy. Wrestling. Wrestling. Wrestling was actually his best sport. He's a wrestler. And he was up there. I don't keep track of wrestling statistics, but he was up there among the winningest wrestlers, I think, in Wesley High School history. There's some guys that are superior to him, but he won a lot of wrestling matches. So I was kept busy going to all these events, driving me crazy, actually. But anyway, so I thought I'd talk about my family's contributions to sports, since I'm not exactly up here as the world's greatest athlete. So, but I had a lot of fun. I played a lot. Enjoyed myself. The kids entertained me for their entire life. That was their job, entertain your father. No. Well, I'm going to get to him. He gets special notes. You can't cut me off yet. The most special person here.
Saving the best for last?
Yep, I'm saving the best for last. The best for last is a young man named Johnny Spazzato. Him and Brian played on the same football team together. They're on the track team together. But John, Wesley used to play the football games on Saturday afternoon. Sun's out. I can see in the sun, but at night, I don't see that well. So I needed someone to help me when Wesley switched over to night football. So along comes Johnny Spazzato, and he volunteered every week. He must have did it, I don't know how many years, 10, 15 years, a long time. And he would sit next to me up there, and he would tell me who made the tackles and all the key runs and stuff. But the best one, this is something I don't think the major league guys have ever done, the big time announcers. Wesley played a round robin. It was like Labor Day weekend, and it's light. It's light out at that time of the day, and I couldn't see out of the windows. It was the old-fashioned plexiglass, and it was like an explosion taking place in front of your eyes. So John says, "Well, I'll go by the door." The wires, my wires wouldn't reach the door, so I was stuck in the part where you couldn't see out of the place. So John broadcast the game to me from the doorway, and we did the game. But I never saw the game. I never saw that game. And then it got dark later on, and the other teams, everything was all right. but there's like 6 teams playing. So that was probably the highlight of our announcing a football game. So I better cut it off now. Everybody's staring at me. Thank you. What do you think?
Good job,
Way to go, buddy. Congratulations.
Is it all right?
All right, Charlie, nice job. Can I have your attention just for a couple more minutes? Oh, Charlie, by the way, you did not exceed your 45-minute allotment, so next year, you get a free ticket, and we'll give you an extra 15 minutes to speak. But I'd like to just thank all of you for attending this evening. My sincere congratulations to the Hall of Fame class of 2023. And I hope to see all of you at a future Hall of Fame banquet because we hope to keep this going for a long, long time. So thank you for attending. Have a wonderful evening. Good night, everyone. Thanks, Don. Oh, my pleasure. It was a good night. I am glad you did so.